Hi everyone, my name is Della Phillips. I'm an artist as well as I'm known as the Bicycle Lady. How you doing today? I'm doing great. Please help me out by clicking the bell icon and give it a thumbs up as a like, as well as subscribe. There's no charge for this, and it really would help me out a lot with YouTube. Alright, now today's video, originally I wasn't going to make it. It's more of a restocking. I guess you could call it a mini haul. And I thought about it for a while and I went, well, why not? Maybe you might find it interesting and informative of what I selected. First off, let's take a look at the items I got that were related to Tombow. And these are the Tombow items I got. I got these from Blick. And with the purchase of these pins in the 2-pack, they were giving out a free Tombow pencil case as part of the promotion, which is really nice. It's a nice canvas case that's zippered, so that will be helpful. Now the Tombow markers that was part of that deal is known as, and please excuse me, I may get this name wrong, more likely I will, Fudenosuke brush pen. Many people refer to them as the food pen, food. And calligraphers love it, as you can see from here. But they do get very nice expressive lines. The ink is permanent, and I enjoy using it. You get 2 pens. One is a soft point, and one is a hard point. The navy blue one is the hard point, the harder tip, and the black one is the soft. So I already have 2 of them. I've tried them out before. Love them. These were just purchased as backup. Since they had a good deal. Now the next thing I got, which was relatively cheap, I don't believe it was on any special, but still a good deal from Blick, is this Tombow eraser. I've seen it before, especially with some YouTubers from Australia, and it's known as the Tombow Knock eraser, or the Mono Knock eraser. And let's give it a whirl. Let's see what it's like. Let me get a scrap of paper here. Okay. Put down some. Well, this is a new 600 in case you're wondering what type. Let's see how it raises. Okay. And it does okay. It's a little harder eraser than I normally like. And yes, I still love the Mono Tombow, the small detail one. It feels like, it could be, I could be wrong here, but this eraser is a little more soft than the Click, but it could just be me and the size of the eraser I'm dealing with. Now, what also seems to me is this is just like a discontinued eraser, but was made by Papermate, the Tough Stuff Stick Click eraser. I don't think it's been made, maybe 2005 or something like that. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But it's not made anymore. So if you're a big fan of that particular eraser, this would be your replacement. Now, just trying it out, I'm glad I got it to try out. It's maybe around $3 at most. And then not much for these. I'll use them up. They're not going to go to waste. But it's not my first choice. Let's put it that way. Okay, let's put this to the side. The next thing, well, maybe I'll bring this back up, is something else I had on sale. It was $3.99, or was it $2.99? Anyway, at the time of this videoing, this was on sale, and I went, even for $3.99, it's worth it. It's a nice quality metal with plastic barrel, and it's the Alvin 0.09. I do like either 0.07 or 0.9, actually 0.9 for sketching. And for the price, I thought, oh, not bad. It does have HB lead, it comes with that. I think 1 or 2 leads in it. And I'll be switching out probably with a B lead in the future, once I use those up. Now, they also had the other Alvin mechanical pencil. I believe that's the one where the sleeve totally retracts. That's great because if you carry it in your pocket or out or about and you might drop it, you won't chance damaging this lead guide tube. And when you damage and bend that, then the pen becomes unusable. But if you're careful with it in the case and so forth, it shouldn't be a problem. As long as you don't get the dropsies and it comes directly down on top of it. I've done that before. So, all in all, I think it was a good choice, especially at the cost. And I'll keep that in my pencil case and use it quite a bit. I'm glad I got it to back up my others that I have. Alright, let's just stay with pencils. Next item I got was not from Blick. It was actually from Amazon. And as you saw before, this is a 600 News. It's short. I got a box of these. I believe it was under 50 cents a pencil, which is tremendous because these are very good quality pencils. Last time I got them in bags of 20 for about the same cost, maybe slightly less. Now they come in a nice box, and yes, for you people saying this is a typical American pencil, doesn't have a cap and so forth. Well, the nice thing with American pencils when they're made like this is they're not sharpened, and they don't have a cap, and that means you can check one end for centering of the lead as well as the other end. Quality check that you can't do with pencils made in Europe because they put a cap on it and they sharpen it. So how can you check it? It's hard until you start sharpening them. Then you can see how they sharpen. I believe these are still made with cedar, and they're made in the U.S. in Tennessee. I believe these are a little bit, from my perspective, less shiny than an ebony pencil, but very comparable in softness and usability with an ebony. I also think they smear just a tiny bit less than the ebony pencil, and it has to do with the core that's being used. And the reason why they're called 600 News is this is an old pencil that originally was made for newspapers to mark up their copy with and check when they did typesetting, and then they went through and did proofing or editing. They would use a soft black leaded pencil, which was the 600 News. Is one of the ones that was used. Now, mainly artists, the people who like soft pencils use that, since everything with newspapers seems to be digital these days. Okay, the last thing pencil-wise would be, well, at least as far as black cord pencil, is these wolf pencils. Now, I mentioned these, I believe, in other videos. If I haven't, I apologize. I love carbon pencils over charcoal pencils. And this is my favorite carbon. Some of the other carbon pencils can be a little bit gritty or have a lot of drag to them. And sometimes you can't get nice, softer gradations. This is the 6B. I'd also ordered the 4B, but that's on back order right now. And get nice deep darks. There might be just a tiny bit of squeaking, but it lays down very nicely, smoothly. There's no drag or anything. I sometimes also like to use these with the Staedtler Meyers Lumograph Black, which is a lot of carbon black along with graphite. Now those have a little bit more of a drag to them, but they're very nice to work with, and with the grades they have, it's great. And then with the wood pencil added in, that's fantastic. I really love these. So I restocked on those. I was down to my last pencil, about this much left, so it was time to get it restocked, and I'm glad they had the 6Bs. I do have a full 4B, so I'm still fine now with the 4B, and I'm sure I'll be getting that shortly from Blick. They're good about getting that out to people. Okay, the next item is mask, watercolor mask. Now, I normally been using the golden core watercolor mask. It's quite good. It's not as harsh on some of the softer papers as tearing it and so forth when you lift it off as some of the other masks. Still, I saw this on a review with Mind to Watercolor, Steve Mitchell. He did a great review on it, showed some of the plots he found with it, such as being able to clean it out of brush very easily, unlike some others, even if you don't use this soaping up the brush method. So I wanted to try this out and compare it to the core. Probably won't make a video of it because Steve did such a good job, so check out that video at the Mind of Watercolor on that, okay? But I got the smallest bottle I could get, which was this, and we'll give it a try. If you have questions on how things turn out when I do the try, let me know, and I'll be glad to make a video and post that information for you. The next items I purchased was markers. These are watercolor markers. Now, in my prior video, I did do some swatching of the Winsor Newton watercolor markers I had, which is here. Put that upside down. Which is this chart here. And so I got this one here, and I swatched that out. I believe this is going to be a great addition. I have the sap green, and then I have the hooker in the dark. I'm not sure I'm going to really need the phthalo green yellow shade. Although I'll double check that when I go in the store sometime. If they have these and I can see it in person what the color is. But this is great. And then I got a different brand. The reason why I did that is this is the dark cadmium red, and then you get into more of the purplish reds. I wanted a little bit darker red without doing maybe a combination with any of the greens. So I could get that from Durer. They're watercolor markers, just like the Winsor Newton. They are pigment-based, not dye-based, like the Winsor Newton. They're very light fast, just like the Winsor Newton. The only thing is, the Winsor Newton tells you the pigment that's used in them. You don't get that information with the Durer. However, since Durer has a line of very good watercolor pencils, as well as other more permanent markers, alcohol markers, and the polychromos, all the colors coordinate. They all match up. So that's a plus that you don't have with Winsor Newton. So it depends on what other medias you may want to use the markers with. They perform similar to on the papers. Now, these watercolor markers I mentioned in that video when I did the swatching do perform differently on different papers, especially if you're doing the direct application and then dilution. And I did that here. And this is dried up a bit, where I took the marker, marked it down, and then took my water brush and spread it out. Well, let's just do that now with the hooker. Now, this is softer paper. Just so you know, this is the Legion Aqua cold press. And I believe I still have a little bit of red there. But you can tell, even with more water, that it has soaked in the paper. And some people call that ghosting, that you can't disperse everything out when you first lay it down. Some people think if you're faster, it won't soak in as much. Let's try that. No, we still have it. And that's what I found with some of the papers. Now, if you were using another paper, such as the Arches cold press, I'm not sure about the hot press. I haven't tried that one out yet. I'm going to have to try that out. As well as the Bung Hung. I believe that's how you say it. And then the Fabriano, 100% cotton. Cold press works great. Hannah Mueller cold press works very good. So I think I'm going to collect a couple more papers and then do a video with maybe some selected colors that's known to have more of ghosting issues than others, like the sepia, and I believe the yellow ochre. We'll just try them out and see, and see if we can correct that. Yeah, even immediate still. Okay. Anyway, I digress. So that's the markers I got, which I think are going to be a great addition and allow me to do markers on the run sketching, I guess you might call it. And then the final thing I got, which is in the realm of color pencils, Sure, you know how I like my Neo colors and color pencils. I posted some those things in the past, both on Instagram and on YouTube. I finally got my set of Derwent drawing. I've been wanting this for a while. I did forego getting this so I could use the funds to get my Derwent Light Fast color pencil. I'm glad I did. I really love those. I posted the lemon artwork that I did with the cut lemons on a tray. So check that out. I have other artworks as well in color pencil. But mostly what I've had is a couple of these gray, and I believe this one and this here pencils. They're very opaque. They're muted. Some people like to say pastel, but I normally think of pastels as being blues and pinks and so forth. These are more earth tones. They're very opaque. They're very light fast blue scale, blue wool scale. And they have been made for quite a while, even longer than the Derwent Light Fast. But they're very, very good pencils, and I'm very happy to get them and try them out maybe with some pet portrait. They're good for regular portraits as well, with the color ranges and the colors and opaqueness. So I'm looking forward to doing some of that artwork.